Hi everyone. So it's time to make the landing page video for my new online permaculture design certificate program. And I could do kind of like a cheesy sales video with like people being happy doing permaculture, but you probably already know that permaculture makes people happy. And I could tell you my credentials, or I can just list them down below. A lot of people have credentials, but I think what matters and what's probably going to make you choose my course instead of a different one, or decide that this program is particularly right for you, is if I just share a little bit about why I'm offering it and how permaculture has changed my life. And so that's what I'd like to do for the next couple of minutes, and I won't go on for too long. But I grew up very poor with like a single mom. We really never had stable housing, and it was it was tough. I had a little sister, and it was pretty tough. And I left home pretty young, and traveled around and did like the punk scene for a long time, and went to shows and learned to play music and became an activist and did like frontlines activism and cooked for Food Not Bombs for many years, and then that turned into this Food Not Lawns thing, and we were growing food to cook for the meals that we were serving at the park for Food Not Bombs, which, if you're not aware, is just like a free meals, no questions asked in the park. And so we did that for many years. I was in Eugene and just doing lots of community activism and really inspired by that. And that's what led me to permaculture. So that, at this point now, was 20 years ago, and we started our first chapter of Food Not Lawns. And through this time, I'm navigating overcoming this sort of traumatic childhood and trying to figure out how to just be a human, an adult human in the world, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that journey, and it can be really hard. And permaculture really helped me in times that were tumultuous when I finally found that and started nerding out on the design system. And if you're familiar with my work at all, I love this Goberdian design system because it's so helpful, the design process. And especially when you infuse that with an ecological ethic, what happens is this little like ecological third eye opens, and I find that really inspiring. I love seeing that happen to other people, and I love having mine open in the day-to-day experience of life. So that's why I teach this. It's not really about trying to get you to build a hugelkultur or catch rainwater from your roof. Like, that's all fun stuff, but that's the context for the transformation that I really love provoking in students and people that I encounter through this community. So that's really like my primary motivation that I wanted to share with you. And because that was what happened to me, was I had these kind of rough and tumble beginnings and really wasn't connected to nature. And then when I found permaculture and started learning about the design process and grounding down to the things that came before permaculture, like Fukuoka and indigenous science, and there's so many things that came before, but you make these connections in whatever way you make them. And when I found that path, my connection to nature improved so many things, from my ability to cope with my traumatic childhood to my ability to make day-to-day decisions. And of course I still fall down like we all do. I have trouble making money like we all do, and I still have trouble finding stable housing. But I think that in some ways makes me uniquely able to teach permaculture to people who maybe don't have easy access to land or tons of money, and I'm very experienced in innovating and building amazing places to live pretty much anywhere, because that's kind of what you got to do, right? So if you're looking for a course that is really grounded in the day-to-day reality, I'm a very pragmatic teacher, and I tend towards pragmatic content. Now, all the content in the course isn't all mine. I do a lot of it, and I'm sort of the primary guide for you, and I maintain all the software and answer the questions in the email. But, I bring in as many different resources, and, I love curating content for y'all. And my approach to it is this, like, very whole systems, like, life-transforming approach, because I don't have hundreds of acres of land to just, like, build soils and berms on it. I don't actually think that's really what permaculture is all about. Like, that feels like a very sort of almost individualistic, but we each have to find our place in this community. Otherwise, it's just like a teeny tiny little niche on the planet, and it's not actually a global movement. So I think in order to make it a global movement, we have to expand what permaculture is to us and apply it not just to the landscape. So we use the landscape as a context, and then we learn how to apply these ideas to the transformation of ourselves and our communities and our approach to community and livelihood, etc. So that's my little sharing of my sort of teaching philosophy. I'd love to see you in the course. And as you know, I also, well, hopefully you know that I also offer a bunch of online free permaculture courses. So if you can't afford a permaculture design program, there's so much information in all the rest of my classes for you. The certificate program is here for people who really want like the direct support from me and the faculty, and to be in like a more of a private space to do more focused work to make sure that you really complete that design project and uphold the internationally recognized standards of permaculture certification, because it really does mean something and we want it to continue to mean something. But if you need it to be free or you just are in a limited budget, you know, all the other courses are donation based and there's tons and tons of information in there for you. So let me know if you need anything. Now, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you and hope to see you soon.